So welcome everybody. We are already, my gosh, can you believe it? We're on week 7. We're on toxic money today. And today is, again, I said it's every week, but everything every week is very powerful. And today is really powerful. If toxic money does play a part in your life, or has ever played a part in your life, you will be, you'll be amazed how great and how detrimental impact it can have on your ability to create and have and make money. And even the money that comes to you will not stay with you. If you have toxic money issues, seriously, money will not stay. It will be, as soon as it comes to the door, it'll be out of the door. Okay, that's how powerful toxic money is. So today is a topic that I really am keen to get started and to share with you guys, and of course, I have things coming up. So anybody, before we get started, does anyone have any comments about the session so far? We are on week 7 and we have covered quite a lot. And now I just wanted to get some feedback. I know some people have shared with me that how they're getting along and they're having lots of breakthroughs, which is absolutely awesome, amazing. But I want to know, everybody else, how are you guys getting along? And just before we get started, anybody want to share something before we start on toxic money today? Anybody?
Yes, me.
Go on.
So, well, I actually started this without any clear goals at all.
Okay.
And I mean, seriously, I just didn't know what I wanted. I was just in that point, that phase. And just in the last 2 or 3 days, I'm getting really, really clear on what I want. And it feels which is nice. And it feels kind of urgent. And at the same time, it feels kind of present. And I've got to say, girls, I came down to London. My son lives here and he has a disability. So he lives in a disability building. And my mum has got her own stuff going on and is moving out of one house and has a boyfriend that's on the verge of Alzheimer's and all of this crazy stuff. So I've come down and it's like a whirlwind of insanity here. But what's been fascinating is that in the last 48 hours, I've decided to leave my partner, which is really emotional. And really hard, but the level of support that I have had in just the number of people that have said, you can come and stay here, because I said I want to just transition from Scotland back to London, and I don't want to make any solid decisions about anything because I don't have a solid revenue at the moment, right? And I think about 8 people have stepped up and said, come and stay. You can. One of my girlfriends and ex-clients turned around yesterday and said, we're going on holiday, stay in the house. Or do your own thing, right? And she has, and my mother's going, well, this house is going to be an Airbnb. It won't rent for more than 1 month, 1 week a month. I'm sure you can live in it the other time. And when you're not there, you can go to Cyprus. I'm going, oh my God, such a different experience. Remember, because I was the homeless one and pregnant.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I'm sitting there and thinking, wow, it's like somebody's put a trampoline underneath me.
Yeah,
and then
you're being supported, and I think this is also an indication that as hard as it is to leave a relationship, I think this is the universe,
especially after 16 years.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that is.
Yeah. Wow. Right. Because
you're being supported, that you're being taken care of, and I think that's a big.
And that's awesome. And then I had lunch with a client, an ex-client, the one who said I can stay in her house, and she sat me down and said, this is what's happened with me. This is what's going on. I'm ready now. She said, all the stuff you tried to help me do 10 years ago, now that hubby's gone and divorce is finalized, but now I want to work with you. So I'm going, wow. So that's going to sort out, I don't know what we haven't negotiated, but that's going to sort out the immediate revenue issue.
Yeah.
And so she's now a multimillionaire. Now the divorce is done. She said to me, this. And then another ex-client friend I'm seeing Monday, and she's also coming out of a messy divorce. And knows my work from before. So I sat down and I thought, you know what? My financial issues could all be sorted out by the end of this month.
Awesome.
Right.
But remember, you're clearing when you're clearing your money blocks, we're clearing so many different.
Absolutely. Things. And my ex, this is the most hysterical thing and the most awesome thing, because I'm not going to go into the relationship stuff, but all I'm going to say to you, I have had a very specific type in mind, okay, and and my partner decided that I was polyamorous years and years ago. So I've had forays over the years, right? And finally decided I'm actually not polyamorous. The problem is that I'm with someone who doesn't work for me, and I've made a decision to go and play other places because David isn't affectionate. That's the bottom line. But so my ex, guys, listen to this. 24 years ago. right, who I haven't seen or spoken to in 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
We reconnected about 5 months ago.
Mm.
And we had the most awesome few days when I got down here. And basically, we're looking at each other going, should we try again? This is awesome. So that's interesting in itself. So, and he's just turned into the person that I've been manifesting for years. Over the last 10 years, he's just like gone, whoa.
Wow.
Wow.
I talk about this, and you pretty much, so you basically, you're telling me you've manifested the guy of your dreams, right?
Absolutely. And I actually, I'm sitting with it, and I'm, you get those nerves when it first starts up. Is this going to go any further? But as he said to me, he said, I haven't got time to actually start another relationship from fresh, because his career's taking off mad. And he walked in and he said hello to, because he was, I'm trying to think now. So Kane would have been about 11 when and he's 35 now, my son. And so I look at this, and I look at this man who's more beautiful than he ever was, right? And more, and now successful and financially successful and building things that we started together. This is what's amazing. Is he said, this other thing that we're building and we're just testing now at the university. He said, Maya, that was our baby. We started creating that, 23 years ago, and look where it is. And I'm going, maybe it just has come full. I just feel like I've come full circle in a good way. And I'm feeling like a complete raving lunatic, Gul, I've got to tell you, like absolutely spun out. And on one level, really sad, because I haven't communicated. Everyone's advised me to actually do a gentle separation and just come down here more and more and more and more until David realizes I'm going to stay, which will probably take him about 4 months, because he can be quite. We don't want the violence to start, is what everyone's saying to me, right? But he'll get it. He'll get the message. So it's like my life is doing this gentle sort of 360 reversal. But this time what I'm coming back to is like a million times better. So Mattie's smiling, I can see through.
It's so wonderful to have. I'm going to have to cut you short because we do have to get started. But thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, that's awesome. You're the second person in for my clients actually who said this to me. Working with me have ended up manifesting the guy of the dreams. And I say this, I've said this before, the energy of love and sex and money is actually so similar that when you get clear on who you are and who you want to be, then you're bringing in the love connection, the partner is actually not that difficult. You just attract the right person, but you have to be patient and obviously, be very clear on who you want. And then obviously the other people come into the point. So my advice to you is going to be, this is fantastic. Yeah, I know, I understand so many things are happening once, but take one step at a time, and
absolutely
don't make long-term plans. And I think I totally understand, because you've been clearing a lot and you have done a lot, and that's the thing I would say. Every one of you has moved on so much. The ones who have been actively working, and I know that for a fact, the people who've been, the more you've been working, the more I can see how much shift has been made. The ones who have not been as active, the shift are obviously a reflection of that too. But you have been, and it really shows. And that's the thing, money's coming in, people are coming in, the universe is supporting you in every level, be it with your romantic relationship, be it with your accommodation, be it with finances. That's how universe works. You are taken care of because all your needs are being met. And when it comes to labels, again, I'm not a person of labels. I really don't believe in having labels on any form. You are who you are, and what works for you is great. And I've come to the point where, being polygamous or being monogamous is, honestly, it's entirely up to you. It's between what works for you as an individual. Nobody else has the right to say anything about you, and that's it. And you need to know what works for you. Honestly, don't label yourself, and be with people that are going to celebrate you. Seriously, this is my message for every single person here. Be with people who will celebrate you, not those who would actually label you or criticize you. That's not just in the romantic relationship, but also in your personal, in your professional relationships also. If somebody is not going to celebrate you and, think you're the most awesome thing since sliced bread, then they don't need to be part of your circle. Seriously. Okay, so thank you for sharing that, Maya. I really, really appreciate it. Anybody has ever? We are a bit over time, so anybody have any other comments before we get started? Anybody else? Any comments? No. Okay. So guys, let me share my screen and we will get cracking with. Oh, Matty, are you okay? Sorry, honey, I didn't get a chance to message you. Was everything okay? Just want to make sure you're okay. Yeah? Are you okay, Matty?
Yes, I am okay.
Okay. Well, I will, if you got time afterwards, I will message you, Matty, and then we'll continue the conversation. Sorry, I got so busy and then I had to take the nap, so.
I have a session with Tina tonight.
Oh, you do? Okay. Okay, fine.
All right.
Well, I'll message you anyway and then we can sort something out. Yeah? All right. Let's share my screen. Toxic money. Awesome. So today we are doing a session on toxic money and its hold on you. And if toxic money, like I said earlier, if it has a hold on you, oh my God, it's literally probably the worst kind of money to have. Toxic money is the worst money because it will prevent you from actually having money or creating money or even earning money. It really is that severe. So a little bit of warning there. And that's the full-blown toxic element of it. If you imagine something like, when something becomes so rotten, so imagine a fruit. If it starts getting rotten, if it starts getting bad, okay, it starts affecting the other fruits and other things in the fridge, okay. But if it becomes really bad, that's it. Everything around has gone corrupt. Everything around it has become rotten also. So the old thing that one rotten apple makes a whole barrel go rotten. That's the kind of philosophy of this. It may be that this toxic money is just one type of money that comes to you, but if it gets so severe and if it's left and if you leave it as it is and it gets worse and worse and worse, it means it actually makes all other money in general toxic for you, not just that type of money, but every type of money that's with you. So all money that comes to you becomes toxic. So this is the warning for it. Okay, so set the intentions, please, that any old beliefs, trauma, stories which are preventing you from, okay, so again, saving account. My typos, what can I say? I'll just do that. I'll sort that out. By the way, I sent this to you, Kusha. So I'll sort that before I send it to you. So I've got a message in the chat box. Did you remember to record? I have. Let me make sure I am recording. Stop sharing.
You are recording.
I am recording. Okay, thank God. Yes, that's something for me. I'll probably stop doing it. All right, so let's share screen again. Share screen. Okay. So any old beliefs, trauma, stories which are preventing you from building a will be cleared. Any which are actually which are resulting in this toxic money being built up in your account or in your energy fields will be removed today. We are going to work on making sure that we clear all the old stories today, okay? And if there is some elements left, we'll carry on that with the homework. But majority of toxic money will be identified today, and we'll release the stories around it. Quickly about the energy field. So you guys know by now the energy field is made by stories, justifications, ideas, and beliefs you have around certain things, and especially when it comes to money. So the kind of money you have, the amount of money you have in your life will be dependent on the way you view money, the way you see money, the way you interact with money, because money is actually an energetic thing, and you are energy yourself. So when you are interacting with money, the way how you behave, the way you treat money is how money will treat you. And therefore, if you have any element of negativity or any element of toxicity, any element of any kind of low vibrational interaction with money, it will respond accordingly. Okay, so this is what we're going to eliminate today. How do we change the patterns? We change it by twofold. First of all, we will do the energy clearing at the end of this session today, and secondly, by rewriting our stories. Rewriting stories is really, really powerful, but and therefore, I think over the next, because if you do that, if you're just doing rewriting stories, it'll take a long time. But that in conjunction with the energy clearings makes it, speed the whole process up a lot faster. So the question then starts is, what exactly is toxic money? Now, toxic money, like I said before, is the most disempowering type of energetic money block. It really is. Okay, it's essential. Now the money that comes from this form is actually essential. It's the money that you actually need to survive. Okay, so it's the cash that you need to survive, but it comes with a lot of negative emotions, emotional price or battle. So there's always a battle around it. Okay, and it usually from a source that you would love to get rid of. You just like, oh my God, I wish I could just get rid of you. I wish just give me the money, but I never to see your face. It's that kind of that kind of thing. And now I've always been very transparent. I always say this, that, you know, everything that I've learned and I've done is because it applies to me in my life. Now, how I came across toxic money and how I realized why it's so severe is because it played a major part in my life. Now, I'll go back to my example. So when I was married to my children's father, Irfan, I went from somebody who was earning a really high income in my mid-20s to late 20s, and by the time I was 28, I'd already, you know, built up my property portfolio and I'd become, you know, a millionaire. However, once I was married to him, and a couple of years into the marriage, slowly but surely got to the point where whatever I touched, whatever business venture I tried, wherever, you know, be it affiliate marketing or online marketing or setting up care home, I spent all my savings on trying to set up a care home. Okay, we spent £100,000 actually setting up a care home, and I got the license and everything else. I still couldn't make it work. Honest to God, everything I touched seemed like it turned to dust. Nothing I could do worked. I could not possibly earn a penny. I just couldn't earn a penny. And that's how severe it was. And I couldn't work out what the hell was going on. And later on I realized, because all the money that I was getting, it got to the point, all the money that I was getting was from this one source, obviously from Irfan, and because I had no other means of income by then. And because I resented it so much, I resented getting money from him so much because of his behavior, because the way he was, the money itself had become toxic for me. So even though I needed the money to survive, I needed the money from him to pay for my kids' school fees, for, you know, more than home, for the school fees and so forth. I felt trapped, and I had to take the money from him, but I didn't want to. It came with so much emotional baggage that I resented money. Okay, I wanted to want you to understand this distinction here. I didn't resent him as much. I did resent him, you know, but not him as much. I resented the fact that I had to take money from him. Okay, so it could be the fact that you are not, you know, you don't have that negative relation with your partner. But, and I'll explain to you the different types of toxic money. I'm just giving you the background to my story. It could be that you don't, you know, you still have a, you know, relatively good relationship with your partner, with your husband or your wife, but the fact is, if you are resenting actually taking money from that person, if you're resenting the fact that, you know, that you need their money from them to survive, and you resent the money that you get from them, you are resenting money, and that money slowly but surely becomes more and more toxic. And that's when toxic money becomes actually toxic for you, and therefore it doesn't matter what you do, you can't bring money in. Because remember, money is energy. If you hate money so much, it doesn't matter, you know, where it's coming from. If you hate money per se, money will run away from you. Money will not want to come to you, and this is exactly what happens. So that's the best in terms of background information, in terms of why money becomes toxic and why money runs away from you, and why this is the worst kind of money block that you can have. And if you have it, it has to be addressed before you will ever make make any form of money. And I mean that. Okay, and you people with this, and later on you find out, I would say that there came a period in my life, I think at least 3 to 4 years, where I couldn't earn a penny. I just didn't even earn a penny from somebody who earned so much. And it doesn't matter what I tried, nothing I tried worked, nothing. Okay, so it's quite powerful. Now the main examples are usually, okay, so this usually happens in marriages. It's not as prevalent, okay, unless it's an abusive marriage, as in my case. Generally, it tends to be when you're owed alimony and you desperately need it, okay, but the person paying is angry or resentful and forcing you into a battle, and therefore, you know, you go into this victim mode. Okay, this creates the energy of having to prove you need it to survive, to counter arguments. So you're basically having a battle around money, and it happens in court. In personal life, it could be in my case. The person, he was constantly fighting with me. There was constant battle, constant anger, and constant abuse and demeanor and whatever else. Again, because all the abuse that he lashed at me, I then, you know, reverted and switched on and threw the money that he was giving me. So it is a deflection. So what the abuse he sent through me, I sent it towards money, and that's why my money became toxic. Does that make sense, guys? So, is that making sense? You know what I'm saying? Okay, awesome. So, okay, this is basically the next one of mine. When you're dependent on that kind of money, it creates association between money and anger and guilt and the need to battle. Let me repeat that. When you are dependent, when you need that money to survive, you start associating, you know, money with anger, with the guilt, and with the battle. Okay, so money becomes associated with all these really powerful negative emotions, and then every time you think of money, it gives rise to all these negative emotions. You think, oh my gosh, you know, if you sit down and think about it, it's actually really, it makes complete sense and it's really, really powerful. But obviously when you're in the situation, you don't really think, yeah. Another example is inheritance. When someone feels that she has a right to receive an inheritance, but it's withheld in some way, or you feel that it's unjust that you know the parents didn't leave you the inheritance they should, or the amount they should leave you, and again you either feel betrayed, or there's dishonesty or something else, and you feel like a victim. Again, money becomes toxic. Again, there's a battle and anger and issues around money. And what most people tend to do is, when there's a battle, when there's an argument, when there's something going on, and you're thinking of money at the same time. Who is it? Maya says, wow, this dynamic of not earning money regularly is my story in the relationship I've been in for 16 years. It's been a battle. Thank you so much for the clarity. I'm so glad you got that, Maya. So yeah, if you are in that battle where you need the other money from the other person to survive, you will not be earning any money. This toxic money will actually cripple your capacity to make or create money. It really is that powerful, and there is a process to let go for that. It really is. And I'll share with you in a bit the way I did it, and the way even at the moment. So you have to stop. You basically have to stop having this battle with money. You really, really have to stop having this battle. And this is the primary reason why I have chosen not to pursue the matter with Irfan, with taking him to court and actually getting him to pay. So we've got a court order saying that he needs to pay me X, Y, and Z, but he's not paying. And so, the next option was for me to take him to court and then actually get him the court to make him pay, and otherwise he'll go to prison. And instead of pursuing that matter, I let it be, and I thought, okay, I don't want any more fights or arguments about money, because again, I'm happy earning, so I'm glad that I'm earning. I just don't even want to risk having, going back into toxic money mode, and therefore I've let him be and I've released him for it. So this is the main reason why I haven't pursued the matter with him. Kush says, I feel the same when I have my parents paying money to buy things for me. Since I left my job 3 years back, I felt angry and ended up arguing on this with my parents, and so I'm making money toxic. Wow. And yeah, Kusha, exactly, you are, my lovely. So when you argue and and you are angry with your because you need the money to survive, either if in my case was my relationship with your parents, again, don't forget, this battle, this argument, this anger gets deflected onto money, and then money, you become angry with money, and then money becomes toxic for you. Okay, Christine, could it be in my case, when I was young, because my parents had a lot of debt, we had careful with spending, so it was stressful? That wouldn't be the same thing, Christine. That wouldn't be toxic money. Toxic money is something that you need at the moment, and when toxic money is playing a role with you, you need it that very moment. That moment you need it to survive. So it's like catch-22. You need that money to survive, but when the money comes to you, it comes with so much negativity and so much low vibrational energy attached to it that that it goes out the door as quickly. But then also at the same time, that means it debilitates. It cripples you. It stops you from earning your own money. It stops you from making your own money. It stops you from having another source of income. So it basically keeps you trapped in that situation. You cannot find another source of income, because in order for you to make money from an additional source, you have to change your relationship and dynamic with money. And because at the moment you are stuck with this one source, and money is coming from this one source, and you hate it and you really are angry with it, money doesn't want to come to you from an additional source. You really are stuck in that that catch-22 situation where you need the money but you don't want the money. So that it's not the same thing, my lovely. Yeah, I hope that answered the question, Christine. Yeah. Okay, so where were we? Okay, inheritance. Inheritance is, like I said, is another one that is it causes toxicity for a lot of people, and the way around it with that is somebody's asked me, so what can we do? And my point with that always is, if you are in inheritance, and if you have a toxicity around it, or if there's a battle around it, the best thing to do is hire lawyers, give it to the lawyers, and let it be, and then release yourself from it. Release yourself from that battle. And same thing goes for if I had a lawyer, I would give my thing to the lawyer and say, okay, fine, you deal with this person, whatever else. Unfortunately, I can't do that with the fund, because if we do, then he won't see children, so there's other dynamics attached to it. But if you are in a battle when it comes to inheritance or alimony, whatever, the best solution is, one, know that your income source is not depending on that person. I'm just giving the additional mental things to do, and at the same time giving the battle, the whole dynamics of the thing over to lawyers, and let the lawyers charge their fee from you. So it's better for you to pay the fee to the lawyers and get them to actually deal with the toxicity, and then how, who and what, whatever, and you no longer be in an argument with them, and you just release it. Okay, that is the best way if you are in a battle. Okay. And that also would be if you're in an accident. So any form of battle. So I've given you a few examples. Another one would be also, and I don't know if I've covered this. I think I may have. I'm not sure if I have. But where there's another sort of battle as well. So, for example, if you were injured at work, or some other injury you've had, or you're in a battle. Oh, another one is if you had a business association with somebody. Okay, I think I might have covered that a bit later. But it's any sort of battle that you have, any legal battle that you have. Any sort of legal battle which is prolonged, let me repeat that, any legal battle which is prolonged, I think over a 3-month period, it starts making your money toxic. Any legal battle. So keep that in mind. I mean, legal battles and money is really, really powerful. And that's where I think lawyers come in, and I'm not advocating you should get lawyers, but honestly, that's where the benefit of having lawyers is you pass on the case to lawyers and then you forget about it. And like, you deal with it, I'm not dealing with it. And then you disconnect yourself from the battle, because you let the lawyers do the battling for you in court and outside court, and you have disconnected yourself. Okay, I'm never want to say you should not use your rights or give up on your rights and whatever's due to you, but at the same time, I don't want you to be in battle. Okay, unhealthy relationships. Oh, I did cover unhealthy relationships. That's great. So now unhealthy relationships is what I was in, and that's when you are. And I think that's your case, Maya. When you're in a relation with somebody you rely on to take care of you financially, and you feel trapped because you need their money to survive in order to maintain your lifestyle. Okay, and this creates negative emotions, and it's when all of it is associated with money. And every thought, again, this was in my case, every thought about being supported and having to stay in that relationship carries with it extreme loathing, anger, shame, and disgust. And I experienced all of these emotions and more. And I remember crying my eyes out, thinking, my God, and the more I got angry I got at him, the more angry I got with money. And this was quite a traumatic period in my life. Oh, hi, Shavnisa. She goes, I see this hasn't happened to me, but I remember some of my father's business partners cheated on me, and it took us years to recover from this. We had to borrow money from family to buy the house we lived in, and for us keeping my dad's business up and running. Yeah, Shavnisa. So when you have a battle with the business associations also, yeah, so if you have a business association, that's again, it's a battle around money. So when you get cheated on I think I do cover this a bit later, when you get cheated on in your business relationships, that is equivalent to as a romantic relationship. Remember, you are intimately intertwined, energies are intertwined when you are in business relationships. And if somebody cheats on you in that, then there's a battle around money. Okay, and a battle and a betrayal around money, and that again makes the money very toxic. Remember, the emotions of betrayal and battle and anger and frustration are so powerful and so potent that when they come and become associated and ingrained with your relationship with money, every time you think of money, those emotions come to surface, which naturally will, because you remember the argument, or you remember this disagreement, or you remember this dispute with this business associate or business partner, or when they cheated you out of money. Again, all those emotions will be now attached to money, and every time you think about money, they will come to surface. So again, your money becomes toxic. So absolutely, it would be the case. So Christine, if that's the case, then that's your toxic money. Okay, and that is quite powerful, and that will keep you small. Okay. What else was it? Mike says, yes, a zillion times over. Even when I had my own money, I was really scared that I would be dependent again. And my business partners did a disappearing act without handing over. Yeah, so then that again would cause an element of toxicity, and not necessarily make it completely toxic, but would start would have elements of it. So remember, if money becomes really toxic, and I'll explain in a bit, when it's complete toxic, when you can't earn any money, as was the case in mine became so toxic that the more I tried to make money, I couldn't make any money. Okay, I remember making money from Keen. I started working as a psychic on Keen on a website, and I made my first $100 on there after I think 4 years of not earning any money. And I kid you not, I was jumping for joy. I was literally jumping for joy, the fact that I made $100. That's it. That's all I made. It was $100 working. I think I worked 5 days, God knows how many hours, and I made $100. And I was jumping for joy because I had a breakthrough. I was able to make my money. Okay, that was very, very important for me. So that this is how powerful it can be. Okay, so again, when you have in a relationship, and this can be the case in an otherwise healthy relationship. So this is what I was talking about. In my case, I had an unhealthy relationship to start with. But even if you have a healthy relationship with your wife or your husband, if you start resenting him or her because you are dependent on their money to survive, it actually starts having a very detrimental impact on the relationship itself, because you start resenting the person who's actually bringing in the money. Not intentionally, it's natural human thing that, you think somehow they're better than you, or you can't earn something, or you now depend on them, you need them to survive, or something like that. Okay, those emotions take over, and so it's natural for you to start resenting the person as well as the money. Yeah. Matty says, I'm giving money to my son with the if it helps you to find a job. I do not have negative feelings about that, but maybe my son has. What can I do? Okay, great question, Matty. So that basically, I think that with you and with your son, Matty, you'll need to change your actual relationship with him first, and then give him the option of financial support second. So the first thing you need to do is actually tell him and actually make him realize, one, that you're very proud of him, and you are proud of him, and he's awesome, and he's an amazing person. He really is a very amazing, talented young man. So that's the first thing that you will need to do, is actually tell him that, what you truly feel for him. The fact that he doesn't have to earn money for you to be proud of him. He doesn't have to be this, achieve X, Y, Z for you to love and adore and think he's the most amazing thing on the planet. You love him unconditionally. You think he's amazing and has amazing talents just the way he is. The world does not have to go and clap for him. You are clapping for him. You think he's amazing. You think everything he's done so far is amazing. And where he is at the moment, it's just, everyone has times in life when when they have low times, or when they're in between jobs or whatever. So that's the first thing you have to do. Okay, then you give him your financial support, because otherwise what will happen is the money you're giving to him, he will start resenting you for the money that he needs from you, because he will feel that he needs that money from you to survive, and in that case he will resent you and the money you give him. Let me repeat that. He will resent you and the money you give him, because he will feel he needs that financial support from you to survive, and how now that he's a grown man, he should not need to have his father financially take care of him, and that somehow he's small, and the fact that you're giving him the money makes him feel small. Are you understanding that point, Matty? Okay, so the financial support is second, and I know there's no toxic element from your side. You're giving it out of love. He needs to feel that love from you. He needs to understand that support from you, and the fact that it's unconditional, it's without any judgment, it's without any hang-ups, it's without any strings attached, basically. So no strings attached. You are giving him all the support, the love, the affection, the support, including the financial support. So financial support has to be one element of everything you're giving to him, and for him to receive it. Okay, for him to openly receive it. Otherwise, if he doesn't actually accept your love and emotions and your actual, the other support from you, if he accepts your financial support, that will become toxic money for him. So this is my fear for you. Does that make sense to you, Matty? Is that making sense? You're typing something else?
It does. Actually, we have, I think, a good relationship.
Okay.
Last time I met him, and I tried to meet him tomorrow again.
Yeah, I think you told me that you're going to go see him tomorrow. So actually go and speak. What I would advise to you, Matty, would be speak to him and tell him that you're there for him. And I want you to reiterate, I think we had this discussion earlier, I want you to reiterate to him how proud you are of him. He doesn't need to have this, this high prestigious job with Google or whatever. You are proud of him because of the amazing human being that he is right now at this moment in time, and that's it. He's amazing for just being who he is. That's it. Like the way we talk to children, our 6 and 7 year olds. Like when I talk to my son, I'm like, I'm so proud of you. You're so amazing. You're the most amazing thing in the world. I'm super proud of you. He doesn't have to achieve anything. He can be just who he is, and I'm super proud of my son. That's my 6-year-old looks at me and goes, I love you, mommy, and he accepts that. But he's 6-7-year-old, and he will. He's just happy that mommy loves him because he's just so funny and cute and the way he is. That's it. Nothing to do with anything else. when you're adults, you think you have to do something to get love. It's such a sad thing that we get into the hang-ups. Like, we need to have X, Y, and Z to be able to receive love and affection and compliments. Otherwise, we're not worthy of receiving. This is the hang-up that he's in, Matthew, and this is my concern for you. Let him understand that he's amazing as he is, and for you, he's the same 6-year-old boy that you think was amazing when he was a baby, when he was a toddler, when he was when he was adolescent, and even as a young adult, as an adult now, he's still amazing for you. And then from that element, offer him money and financial support to get him back on his feet. And I think that's very, very important. So that's my thing with with the financial support for him. Does that make sense? Awesome. Okay, so Yvonne says, someone owes me money for borrowing my car years ago in an emergency after an accident. He did not return it when he was supposed to and broke it. He paid me back in December, forcing me to take a check, but now wants the money back as I'm not interested in him. He thought I would be grateful he has paid back. Is this toxic money? So yeah, if you have, this would be, I'll ask you this question. So you answer this for me, Yvonne. Does thinking of the money that you received to him, bring up any negative emotions? Does it make you think of, does it make you think of, oh, I'm so grateful that he's paid me back? Or does it make you think, oh my God, he took my car, he did this and he did this and he did that and did this, and he's such a, whatever. Now, what is he thinking? What kind of emotions come up? You'll know if it's toxic if every time you think of that money, negative or low vibration emotions come to surface. And the stronger those emotions, the stronger the toxic money. Does that make sense, Yvonne? Yeah? So you can answer this for yourself. You need to know this. If he owes you money, what you can do is, if he's paid you for a check, I wouldn't recommend you give it back, because this is not money that you need to survive. However, there's a battle around it. So what you need to do is mentally dissociate from that and think, okay, he took my car, destroyed it, and now he's paid me back. Fine, put the check in, make sure you cash it out, and think that's for you being paid. Because what you don't want to do is, there's a fine line between here, okay? What you don't want to do is refuse money. Okay, you don't want money to come to you and say, look, I don't want the money. And I'm guilty of this. By the way, every time I tell you, I've done it on my own self. So I used to resent the money, and then even though money I could get from my ex, I'd say, no, I don't want his money. I don't want his money. I don't want his money. And I was saying, the thing is, the universe doesn't hear I don't want his money. It just hears I don't want money. Can you see? It just heard I don't want money, and I lost literally all my savings, everything, my gold, everything went, because guess what? I didn't want money. It didn't think that I didn't want Irfan's money. It just heard gold doesn't want money. Okay, let's not give her money. So that's my thing with you, Yvonne. You don't want to do that. You don't want to refuse money. You want to, Anya, he owes me. I'm grateful that he is threatening to take me to court if I don't go out with him. Okay, so yeah, if you, well, first of all, he can't take you to court because you're not going out with him. It doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. Okay. If he's giving you money and you can prove to him, and this lawyer side of me coming out, you can prove to the fact that it was, he destroyed, he messed up your car, did it, and he's repaying your debt, and that's it. So you have an argument for him in court. So tell him that, you've got a lawyer, you can go to a lawyer, and I'm a lawyer, for God's sakes, I can sort that out for you, no problem. So that's the first thing you do. You never take threats from anybody. Okay, never. Okay. So that's the first thing you can tell him, that you owe me money. That's it, and I can prove that in court. So oral contract is actually, it's very, very is something that's actually accepted by court. So that's not a problem. Okay. But having said that, he cannot force you to do anything about going out with him. What the hell is that about? He said my car is not worth it. His opinion doesn't count. He destroyed the car. His opinion doesn't count. So legally, it doesn't count. Okay. And the fact of the matter is, if he paid you that money, he thought it counted. Okay, whatever his ulterior intention was, it doesn't matter. So that's something different. Okay, so he paid that money, that money was because of the debt. You can prove it. That's fine. Okay. Now, in terms of going out with him, hell no, woman. Okay, and you need to cut your ties with him, associations with him, and let him say, you know what? I release you into the world. I bless you. I forgive you. And just do that. You need to do the forgiveness exercise with him, and then you should cut all ties. And make sure you block him on all social media and phones, and do it and keep it that way. And that's how you keep yourself safe. Okay, brilliant. Okay, now that's it. And then that's it. When you do that, then the money is not toxic, because the money is that you're owed and you've put into that account. You're not having a battle. Remember, money is toxic when you have a constant battle around it. either money you're receiving or money you are going to receive. Okay, so therefore this is money you've already received. It's in there. It's got nothing to do with him, and now you can just tell him to bugger off and leave you alone. Okay, and you actually can threaten him, say, like, you know what, dude, if you don't actually leave me alone, I'll put you down for harassment. Seriously. Okay, so there's so many ways around that. People always forget that I'm a lawyer, so I can talk in legal terms for forever too. But honestly, it's not a problem. And from what the situation I see at hand, you have a real strong legal case against him for harassment also. So yeah, don't worry about that. Where are we? I had a message which I lost here. That's Yvonne's. Christine says, is it still toxic money for me if it was my parents' situation because they owed a ton of money? They owned a ton of money, had things taken away, and had a friend lend them a car possibly and did get money from others to survive. It took them many years to pay everything off. This is your story. This is not toxic money for you, Christine, because it's your parents' story. So this is how they did money. So this would come under mum's story and dad's story. So that will be there. It'll be under that category. It's not toxic money because it's not the money that you need right now to survive. Toxic money is only the money you need right now to survive. So it's the money you're going to get or you're going to get. Okay, so sorry, it's the money you're getting right now or you're going to get. Okay, so it's right present. Toxic money is a very status quo. So what's happening right now, this moment. So it's either there's a battle around it right now or happening in the future. Okay, that's toxic money. What's happened in the past with your parents or years ago, it's not relevant now. That's how you do your story with your parents, and that's how they, unfortunately, you to rewrite the story. And in your case would be the fact that they were great money managers and they invested well and did really well and they had a lot of money to pay off, and you went on holidays, all of that stuff. You're not rewriting the story and making it perfect. You're basically having your ideal childhood. Okay. You must say, thank you so much, Goldie, since that to me. You're most welcome, my lovely. You're most welcome. And Kristen, which is what I have done. Absolutely fantastic. Awesome, ladies. Okay, fabulous. Right, so where are we? So let me come back to this. So you're ready. When you have relationships, so when you're in a relationship and it starts giving you toxic money and you start resenting the relationship for it, what will happen is you have an inheritance or you have a battle around it. When it becomes completely and truly toxic, you will say this. You will say this point. You say, since that day, I've never been able to answer. You look back in your life, and I could actually do this. I could look back in my life and say, since the day when I think after my son was born, I was not able to earn a single penny. I could literally, to the day, know exactly which day, from what point onwards, I was not able to earn any money. So because I went on maternity after I became pregnant with my son, once my son was born, I was not able to earn a single penny. What's this? Maya says, so for me, David's resentment of looking after me, roof over the head and food, and his attitude that I'm the liability, not asset, leaves me feeling disappointed, diminished. And every time we discuss household money issues, energy experiences that I'm not worth it. Yes. So you definitely have toxic money issues, my lovely Maya. You are a classic case of toxic money. And you are where I was a few years ago, pretty much exactly where I was a few years ago, and you're resenting him completely. And you find that when you break free from him, money will start flowing to you in avalanches of abundance. It really will. And so even when I was, with the refund, I still had my gold and I had other things, but it was actually creating new and more money was difficult. Actually, was impossible for me. Once I let go of him, and when I truly let go of him, my business exploded. I kid you not, it literally exploded. But I had to let go of him. I had to let go of this battle, and this letting go of the battle, didn't happen until last year. And until last year, it didn't matter what I did, what I could do, and I could help people. My business wasn't taking off. So this is what will happen with you. As soon as you let go of the battle, as soon as you do, you will find that your relationship with money instantly changes, and then things just open up and things begin to explode. Make sense? I hope it does, my lovelies. Okay. Oh, what was it? Yes, awesome. Okay. So let me come back to this. So you'll say, since that day, and of course I've got a capital I here. Of course I would. Right. Okay, you say, since that day, I have never been able to earn money again. And this is when you know money is truly toxic. And this is in your case, Maya. For other views, it'll be something that's maybe it's in present, or maybe it's coming along, or maybe there's a source of income that you have that's becoming toxic. and it has toxic elements to it, but it's not toxic yet. Okay, but keep this in mind too. If you have like 3-4 sources of income, and even one of them is becoming toxic or has toxic elements, it will have detrimental impact on other sources of income, and it will start diminishing your income level, and it would also mean the less money you will have, and you will manifest more expenses, so the money that comes in goes out that much quicker. Does that make sense? Okay, this is really, really powerful to understand. Even if your money is not truly toxic yet, if you have 3 or 4 different sources of income, and even one of them maybe is toxic or has elements of toxicity in it, the other income, the other source of income would also start getting impacted. Remember, because it's money at the end of the day. It's money that's becoming toxic. So money from the other sources will also become toxic. Will start showing toxic signs, and you will start either reducing your income, or actually, making sure that you're manifesting expenses or circumstances where all the money that you have is now going out the door, and then actually, and less and less income is coming through the door. Okay. And if your money is truly toxic, you begin to feel helpless, unable to control what you feel is rightfully yours. You feel like, oh my God, I can't do it. I just don't know why I can't do anything. It doesn't matter how hard I try, I can't make money. And when I earned 100,000 in 2016, he resented me that I was earning so much more than him. 10 hours a week, and it's horrible. Yeah, so it's both ways, honey. He's resenting you one or the other, or way or the other. Yeah. Melanie said, does this apply to someone doing a job they didn't love and would be absolutely, honey. So that's actually a very good example, Melanie. So if you are in a job that you need to do to survive, but you hate the damn job, you hate the people you work with, and you resent it, that becomes toxic also. Then you get trapped. You need that job because you need to survive, but you can't leave that job because you don't have an additional income source. But if it gets to a point where it becomes toxic, so toxic that you hate your work, you hate getting up on Monday mornings, you hate your co-workers, you hate your boss, you hate your job, it becomes so horrible and so negative. So every time you think of money, you think of, oh my God, I have to go back to work. Again, do you see the connection? That it becomes so toxic that then if you try to say, oh, let me set up a business on the side. The business on the side you cannot set up successfully until you let go of these negative emotions with your job. Okay, so if you need to, the best way around that would be to actually get another job, or to change your ideas and your feelings around your current job, and actually eliminate this toxic element from the money, and then set up a side business, yeah, or apply for another job. But you have to get rid of this resentment to this job that you're earning, because it will have a really powerful impact on your ability to actually, and also in that job. So if you hate that job, the likelihood of you prospering and actually doing well in that job are literally diminished to zero. Okay, you won't get promotions, you won't excel, you won't get bonuses, you won't excel in that role, because if you resent it so much. And it doesn't matter how damn good you are at what you do. Okay, you can be the best damn thing, whatever. But if you don't somebody, who is it? Somebody, okay, that one. So it doesn't matter how brilliant you are at whatever you do. If you hate it, if you resent your work, then you will never ever be able to prosper or actually excel and actually prosper in that role anyway. So that's why the first thing you need to do is, whatever job you have, whatever you're doing, you have to change your feelings and your emotions around it. Does that help you, Melanie? Does that answer your question, Melanie? Great, thank you. Okay, so that's on me. And additionally, self-loathing. So now the biggest things, I think this may be something you had. I had this, okay, and I remember, when you really have this self-loathing, like, am I really worthless? Am I this? Am I that? You really begin to doubt your own self-worth. What are you worth? What are you doing? What can you do? What your own capabilities, your own intellect, your own personality. And this is, because you really feel like you need this money. You become needy, like you need this money, and you're unable to take care of yourself. It gets to the point where, I have all this intelligence, I have all this, capabilities and talents, then why am I not able to take care of myself? Why do I need this money from this person or this situation, this inheritance? Do you see what I mean? And therefore, this self-loathing is really detrimental, not only to yourself, but also, again, to your money, because, again, the more self-loathing you are, the more negative emotions you have towards yourself, and guess where you're going to reflect it to? Again, to money. Again, so money, again, will run away from you even faster. Okay, so let's test your toxic money now. So you guys have pen and paper? Tell me you have pen and paper. You know, in my class, you have to have pen and paper. Awesome, brilliant, fantastic. So now I'm gonna ask you this question. So do you have any situation where money is owed to you that you were somehow cheated out of? Why is that there? Okay, so do you have any situation where money is owed to you that you were somehow cheated out of, like an inheritance or a lawsuit? Okay, remember, or a lawsuit, or money that when it finally was paid to you, it felt like there was a battle around it. I'm going to repeat that question. Do you have any situation where money is owed to you that you were somehow cheated out of, like an inheritance or a lawsuit settlement, or money when it was finally paid to you, as in your case, Yvonne, it felt like there was a battle around it? Okay. And the next question is, or you are receiving money that you need to survive, but it comes with a negative emotional price. Then the last one I'm saying is, or that you are currently receiving money that you need to survive, but it comes with a negative emotional price. Should some no to both. So my lovely, then you don't have toxic money. Okay. Christine, no to both as well. Awesome. So this is the only, oh, where's it gone? I've lost my face. Okay, so the two elements of toxicity is this basically. So there's two, and this is, so even if you don't have this at the moment, I would like you to, the reason why I think this is brilliant for you to do anyway, because it will eliminate for if there's any toxic money that's becoming toxic, it will eliminate that. And in the future, if this toxic money comes your way, or you think money is going to become toxic, you can recognize it and eliminate it, because toxic money is the worst thing. It's like acid. Okay, it's like pouring acid over your finances. That's how severe toxic money is, and that's why I call it toxic money, because it can, if you have any situation when something toxic is that, it's like, you know, hydrochloric acid. You're pouring really strong hydrochloric acid over your finances or over your money. That's how powerful it can be. So even if it doesn't apply to you at the moment, keep in mind and just do the clearing. Okay. Situations. Money is either owed to you from an inheritance or something, you know, you cheated out of, or there's a battle around it, or it's money that you need to survive. Either way. Now, can you look back? Okay. It's not cash money, it's in kind. Will this clear the past experiences too? Yeah, it will. When we remember, honey, when I do the clearings, I do it all across all times. I do it across all times, dimensions, space, and reality. So I do it. So I'm simultaneously, and this is how the way we've been trained, the way I've been trained. I think Matthew as well. We've been trained. So when we clear current and past events plus cross dimensions, because we do live in different dimensions as well, and there's parallel dimensions and all different realities. So we are clear everything for you guys, and that's why the clearings are so powerful. So you'll clear the past events as well. Okay, so can you look back at this toxic money situation, you know, when this toxic money situation happened, and say, since that day, I've never been able to earn money. That tells you if you truly have toxic money, as it was in my case. I could literally look back and say, okay, since my son was born, I was not able to earn any more money until you know, a couple of years ago. So yeah, I think from the point my son was born, the next time I earned money was I think from sort of 2011 to 2016, I wasn't able to earn any money. So 5 years I didn't earn any money at all. And then in 2016 is when I earned my first $100 from Keen, which sent me, you know, I was jumping for joy. I was jumping for joy from $100, but it was amazing because I hadn't earned that much and any money until then. My uncles had held back our inheritance after dad's suicide and didn't give us our due back in the 90s. It was too heavy. So that's toxic money, my lovely. That will be toxic money. So you will have resentment towards it. So anything like that, like inheritance, which was due and you were cheated out of, that is, even if it's not happening right now, it happened in the past and it was money that was due to you and it still hasn't come back to you and still there's a battle around it. It's still somehow happening at the moment. So that will count as toxic money for you too. Okay. So, so what are the emotions around the money and all the people around it? Are they still involved? Is this still ongoing battle? So, write this down. There's what sort of emotions are coming up when you look at the situation. What people are involved, and are they still involved in what's going on? And the next question is, what do you say to yourself when you think about it? For example, when I used to think about my life, I used to think, so what's the point of having, I think almost, that I'm qualified as a lawyer in 3 jurisdictions. Like, what the flipping point of being qualified as a lawyer in 3 jurisdictions? And if I can't even earn money to, pay my own bills, what's the point? What's the point of all these years of education? What the hell was the point of it? And, so I kept comparing it, like for someone like me who had God knows how many A-levels and whatever, it's academically excelled. And then my partner at the time, Ifan, was a complete dud when it comes to academic excellence. He wasn't educated at all. I thought, he's earning thousands and I'm earning nothing. What's the bloody point of education? So, that's the kind of conversation I used to have in my head. So what kind of things, what do you say to yourself in your head? Again, this is slightly different. So you need to get these, if it's not applicable to you, like it wasn't Sheriff Nissa for you and Christine, it's fine. But anybody else who has any elements of it at all, write these details down. Think about it if you need to over the next few days. Anything else that comes through, write it down. And this is going to be a story that you're going to write out and you're going to burn first. And then thereafter, you're going to rewrite the story. Yeah, so this is what it comes to your mind. Okay, Yvonne, so that's great. So your story, you've got a very strong story around this battle with this man, Yvonne. So for sure, that's that's something you're going to write out, and you're going to write out that, and you're going to burn that story, and then you're going to rewrite the story in the positive element, and then that will that will eliminate all of that. The problem with this is this can actually go down and it becomes so toxic for you that you start second judging yourself about your own intelligence, about your capacity to be dealing with money and so forth, and it seeps into so many different ways. It's just unbelievable. The layer of impact this can have on you is astounding. It really, really is. It literally cripples people from earning capacity and being creative, tapping into the creative genius in terms of moving forward. I've seen it happen. I see it happen in myself. And then when I realized it was happening to myself, I looked up and I saw how many people it happens to, and why they go down the route they do. Okay, so everybody have their information down. Awesome. And that's checking in. So we're going to do that in a bit. So I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, so that's the end of the session for week 7. I'm going to start, if you're watching this replay, please go and watch in the clearing session, which is separate, and you'll get a separate recording of that in a bit. So let's end this now.